for coming to class. If you're joining me live, let's go ahead and get started. Find a comfortable seated position. I'll grab my blanket over here. And if you want the hips propped up, use a bolster or blanket. Just want to be able to sit up tall, feel comfortable. A few moments. You can work with the mudra with the hands. You have the first finger and thumb together. You can have hands interlocked, fingers interlocked with thumbs touching. Just take a few moments to connect with your breath and start to use your exhalations to facilitate more relaxation. Maybe letting go of gripping around the eyes and the jaw or the tops of the shoulders. Continue paying attention to the breath moving through the nose and the throat and how your body is responding to the breath. Start to notice mind settling down a bit, physical body feeling more relaxed, body weight settle into spine and hips. As you continue to allow your inhale and exhale to lengthen on its own, we'll start to bring some attention now to our intention for class. And this could be something you'd like to manifest in terms of your health or well-being. It could be a spiritual aspiration you have within your own heart. As you continue to focus on this intention, take the next 3 breaths with awareness at the heart center, right behind the sternum. Palms together from the heart center. We ask and trust that our practice today supports this intention and moves it towards its fullest expression. We'll chant Hare Om 3 times together. Inhale. Get started in downward facing dog. Go ahead and take your time to set yourself up. Getting props off to the side. And once you get there, just backing up. Do a little movement with the legs, any other shifting of the hips. Open up the back line of the body. Stretching legs, shoulders. Continue regulating your breath as you come forward into the top of a push-up. Remember, you can bring the knees down or come down onto your forearms if there's any wrist issues. Fire up those deep core muscles in the shoulder girdle, rib cage, navel, and hips. Take about 20 more seconds here. Still about 30 seconds here. Breath retention. And from here, let's bring the knees right underneath the hips. So knees forward. We'll do cat-cow stretch next. Inhale, tailbone, chest, and head up. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, that navel firmed up, relax the neck muscles. Go back and forth at your own pace. Your mind, you want to feel a little bit of that broadening of the collarbones, lengthening of the ribcage away from the hips as you're inhaling. A strong lower belly and abdominal muscles, and relaxed neck on the exhale. One more round. One more inhale, one more exhale. Next breath in, you come to a neutral position for the spine. Make sure we're rooting through all the fingertips. We're going to get the knees in a little bit closer toward the midline. We're going to take the right leg back and up here with the knee bent. And we'll do some hip circles. We're going to take that knee off to the side, slightly forward and center. Move through those 3 points. Keep regulating the breath. And be mindful, even though we've got some body weight shifting up to the left, try not to bend the elbow or sink into the left shoulder. Reverse the direction, stay on the same leg. Last round on this side. And once that knee goes down, shifting body weight, take the left leg back and up to the side, forward. So when you bring that knee to center, you'll feel that slight lower belly engagement. Some strengthening there with hip flexors, abdominal muscles. Checking in every once in a while, the breathing pattern, making sure we're not pulling the breath in or out. We're going to reverse that direction on this leg. Last round here. That knee goes down. We're going to keep the knees and the feet close together. Sit back towards your heels. Let the belly rest on top of the thighs. Walk the arms out in front as much as you can. With the belly resting on the thighs here, we're going to relax the neck. With this position, your head most likely isn't going to touch the floor, and that's okay. Just focus on the compression of the navel, more relaxed neck, arms stretched out in front so we get a little stretch here on the sides of the body and the lower back. Now, if you have any issues with the hip, if this gives you any pinching in the hip, you can take the knees a little wider, make your adjustments here if you need to. One more breath here in this version of child's pose. Alright, and then we're going to come forward. Let's bring the left knee forward, and it's going to be more toward the center in between the wrists. Lift your left knee away from the floor, sweep your right foot off to the left so that you can then tuck your left knee behind the right knee as best as you can. The feet are going to splay out in opposite directions. And then we're not going to come to sit back onto the floor between the feet with this one. We're going to take twisting and a side stretch. We're going to have the hands a little wider than the mat, fingers pointing in the opposite direction. Start to shift the hip off to the right. Now your right knee might float up away from the floor a little bit, and that's okay. Just take one full breath there. Going to get a sense of where the posture is helping you to access. And then on the next inhale, come back to center. And then shift off to the left. Now you'll notice that you're not going to get the hips as close to the floor when you sweep the hips off to the left than when you did to the right. We do get a little bit different of a stretch here, so you're going to feel where that's at. And then go back and forth. So every inhale, we move through the center. Might even pause at the top there. You exhale, you take the hip off to the right. Might even let the left ear float toward the left shoulder on that side just to kind of follow through with the lateral stretch for the neck. We're going to do 2 more toward the right, 2 more toward the left with the hips. Connect your breath with your movement. And when you come back to center for that left side, we're going to keep the legs in this position. And we're going to move hips back toward the wall behind us. Now, the right or front knee is going to lift up a little bit. We're going to take the hands further forward, kind of like how we worked with the child's pose, where we're bringing belly to the thighs. I want you to focus more on that connection of belly toward thighs and trying to get the hips all the way to the floor. And you're trying to get a little bit of that compression there. Want the body weight, right, just to be heavy. Let body weight and gravity play out here with the hips. See if you take a couple more breaths here, if there's any grip you can let go of. You might not feel like there's a big movement here, but maybe finding more relaxation in the hips, maybe in the thighs or lower back. And then the next inhalation, we'll come back to center, unravel the legs, and we're going to set up the second side. So left knee goes forward and center. We got to lift up that right knee to sweep the left leg off to the right. And then we're going to tuck that right knee behind the left. Feet play out. Take the hands more in line with the shoulders here. And then sink the hip off to the left. Take one full breath here. One side, when you're doing these, might feel a little different than the other. And then come back to center. Shift off to the right. Becoming more aware and the postures, accessing the body, and then go back and forth from side to side. This way you're kind of more familiar with your boundaries as you're moving from side to side. You really want to let the repetition of the movement free up the joints, warm up the muscles. You don't have to feel like you go into a super deep stretch every time you go off to the side. And also be aware of the muscles that you're using to bring the hips back to center. One more toward the left and one more toward the right. Check in with your breathing. Back to center. Take the hands slightly forward, wrist shoulder width distance. Start taking the hips back and let the hips be heavy. The left knee is going to lift up off the floor now. And then hold the shape. You don't have to push the hips down toward the floor. It's not about getting closer to the floor. Just holding the shape and seeing if there's any gripping or relaxation that you can create. If it feels too intense, feel like there's too much going into the knee, let the body weight forward slightly. Make minor adjustments to the legs if you need to. And next inhale, we'll come back to center, forward, and then unravel the legs. Once you get the legs unraveled, we're going to lower all the way down to the floor. Cross the wrists, place chin on cross wrist. Nice long navel on the floor. And then get the legs close together. Let the big toes stay touching, but let the heels fall away from each other. Take our first few breaths here in the Malasana. The lower back curve settle in. Relax any tension in the hips and the thighs. Squeeze the legs together again, bend the knees, and then do sweeping circles with the feet. It's another one where we don't have to correlate the breath with the movement, just to make sure you're not holding the breath in or out. And reverse the direction. Bring the tops of the feet to the mat, about mat width distance apart. And then scoop elbows under the shoulders, forearms and wrists shoulder width distance apart. We're going to hang out here in Sphinx pose, strong upper back, soft forward movement with the chest. This feels like it's a bit much on the lower back for you. You can always get your elbows forward slightly, maybe by an inch. Take a couple more breaths here. That length from the navel all the way up through the throat. And next, inhale, lower the chest, let elbows splay out, hands next to the chest, and push yourself up away from the floor with a strong navel. And then downward facing dog. And take a couple of breaths there. Again, you can move the feet or hips if you'd like. Next breath in, come into the top of a push-up. Inhaling. And then the right foot's going to come forward to a wide runner's lunge. Get that right foot to the outside of the wrist. If you need to bring that left knee down and grab that ankle to get it in place, go ahead and do that. Take a twist to the right. Right arm goes straight up toward the sky. Twist from the waist. And on the next exhale, or next inhale, come out of the twist. Take the right arm across the front edge of the mat. Lengthen the right rib cage away from the hip. And then go back and forth. Exhale into twist. Inhale, get into the side stretch. Keep the back leg pretty strong. Help stabilize the hip. So we're moving from the waist up the spine between the shoulder blades. After 5 rounds here, you'll get that right palm back on the mat, under the shoulder, and downward facing dog to reset. From downward facing dog on your next inhale, plank pose, strong navel, get that left foot forward. Again, if you need to bring the knee down, back knee down, do that, but then set back up with a strong back leg. Take the twist, right arm, upper back is supportive here, and on the next inhale, we'll come out of that twist. You sweep that arm across the front edge of the mat and go back and forth at your own pace. For that expansive quality of the inhalation, move through the side body as you take that side stretch. That contraction in the navel as you take the twist. Last full round. Take your time. We'll end up in downward facing dog to reset. And on the next inhale, we'll move the hands back toward the feet. Walk hands back toward feet. Feet about hip width distance apart, parallel. Once the heels are down, come up halfway to lengthen. Bend the knees generously so you can get the hands tucked under the feet for Padahastasana, toes toward the heels. Fingers toward the heels, toes toward the creases of the wrist. Neck muscles are relaxed. And we'll release the hands from underneath the feet. Strong legs, belly, and back as you inhale to come up. Sweep arms to the side, touch your palms overhead. Lean back a little bit, engage your glutes. And then neutral position for spine. We'll take a few breaths here in Tadasana. Check in with your breathing pattern. You might notice some significant changes in the condition of your mind. And we'll take a side stretch here. Right arm goes up. Bend the elbow. Have the middle finger touching the spine. Left arm goes up. Left hand to right elbow. See if you jutting that lower front rib cage forward. If you can tuck that in without tucking the tailbone. Just engaging the navel a little bit. Take a lean toward your left. You can either keep the gaze forward or you can turn your head up toward the sky. On the next inhale, back to center, we'll switch the arms. Left hand to spine, right hand to left elbow, check in with rib cage, and then take the lean toward the right. Soft gaze forward or past the left elbow. Center on the inhale. Arms go down. And we'll take the feet wider. Heels will stay on the mat. Toes will splay off to the side, so they'll be off the mat slightly. Still might have to make some minor adjustments once we get into the squatting position. You might also want to have either a rolled up blanket for underneath the heels. Sometimes people want to put a block underneath the hips. So kind of adjusting the hip, see how that feels for you. If you feel like it's difficult to take your body weight back, again, you get that rolled up blanket under the heels as a modification. You have the block underneath the hips if that makes a connection from hip down to the floor. And you can also grab the mat here. And that might help you to sink down a little bit more. Take 2 more breaths here, otherwise the palms will be right in front of the chest. And strong legs to really root through the heels and the ball out of your big toe. You're going to come up, straightening the legs. All right. Then we're going to go back down. We'll add a twist, and then we're going to combine some movements together. If you practice with me in the last few years, you'll be familiar with this sequence. So let's go down now that we feel like we are more familiar with the boundaries with the squatting position. Now we're going to press this left upper arm into the inner left thigh. Both elbows are going to be bent here. You're going to open up the chest toward the wall on your right. Come back to center. Push left arm and left thigh together. Open chest up toward the left. Back to center. And then strong legs come up. Really root through the heels. Now we're going to do this breath enhanced sequence. On your next inhalation, lower the hips, keep the lift to the chest. Exhale, twist to the right, left leg, left arm push into each other. Come back to center, re-engage the back and lengthen. Twist to the second side. Inhale, center, and then strong legs come up. That's 1 round, we're going to do 2 more. Inhale down. Exhale, twist to the right. Center. Just notice making sure you're not hunching the shoulders up toward the ears when you're twisting. Come back up on the inhale, on the exhale, and then inhale down. Last round. Connect your breath with your movement. Standing here, we'll get the feet back hip width distance apart. Take a few breaths in Tadasana, mountain pose. And we'll move more to the middle of the mat. Left foot's going to be forward, right foot's going to be back. We've got a slight angle with the back foot, about a leg's length and distance from front to back heel. So you have that set up. Strong back leg. Square shoulders out toward the front, interlock fingers behind the hips. Parsvartanasana. Hinge at the hip. Keep the spine in line with the inside of that front leg. So be mindful of rooting through those 3 points in the sole of the left foot. Ball mount of big toe, ball mount of pinky toe, and the center of the heel. On the next inhale, torso comes up, and we'll switch sides. Release and relax the arms. Side, set up, the lower half of the body. Once that's established, square shoulders off. Engage the bind. And when you're ready on the exhale, take the forward fold. Check in with the breathing patterns. We're cultivating about a 5-second breath in and 5-second breath out. Next, inhale, torso comes up. And release the hands, left foot forward. We're going to face the long edge of the mat. Next. We'll take a wide stance. Arms are up to a T formation. Ankles will be past the elbows, more toward the wrists. And then once you have that, hands can go on the hips. Take the forward fold into the front of the hip. Keep a nice long spine there on the way down. At the end here, just straightening the arms, noticing where the hands go to the shin. So it might go down to the ankles. Neck is neutral. And then you'll find more flexion happening in the spine as you continue to further the forward fold. Some of you might even tuck fingertips underneath the outer edges of the feet. A few breaths here in this version of Padottanasana. If you have any binding with the feet, you can go ahead and take the hands back up. Strong belly and back to come up. Make sure the knees aren't locked out. And then we'll bring the heels in while keeping the toes splayed out. So you might make minor adjustments here with this next movement based on how you feel with the distance between the heels. You're going to bend this left knee, sink into the hip, so you're going to in the side lunge. And then let's bring the left toes in so that they are more parallel for right now. And then left hand's going to go to the floor. So you might want to have a block here if you've got one handy. Left arm's going to be supportive. You can either keep right hand on the thigh and use that weight of your hand pushing the thigh to help with the twist. Feel like the twist is pretty available for you, and you can take the arm up. You can take the arm up, but if it pinches the shoulder and it feels like a bit of a struggle, you can always have the hand down. So you have that side. Let's come up and out of that, so we know where that's at. Keep the block there if you need it. Let's make that right foot parallel, left toes off to the side. We're going to check the second side. We want this right knee in line with the toes. Left wrist under shoulder. You get that joint support. Notice how the twist feels. So we're twisting to the left. And then we're going to come up out of that one. But now both feet are parallel. And we're making it a little more challenging. You can always get the feet to be parallel when you're shifting from side to side. If you want to make it a little more challenging, more of a balancing component and strengthening for the hips, you're going to let both feet splay out and stay that way even through the transition. So stabilize here, and then on your next exhale, you'll take that sinking in the left hip. Make sure those knee and toe go in the same direction. You follow through with your exhale and twist. Come back to center. Might be a little shakier on the way up with the feet this way. Exhale, sink to the right. Twisting action. Inhaling up. And go back and forth 2 more times to the left and 2 more times to the right. Once you come back to center from that last round, you can get the feet parallel for a moment and go into a runner's lunge facing the front edge of the mat. And let's make sure we all have the left leg forward, the right leg back. If you switch the legs there at home, go ahead and do that. This back knee is also going to stay down. If you want to double from there, use a blanket underneath the knee, set that up. We're going to take half Hanuman pose next. Right hip over right knee. Left leg straightens out. You might need to move the heel forward slightly. Might have the left knee bent to help settle into the hips more evenly. And if you don't feel much support on the floor here with fingertips or palms, that weight transferring up into the shoulder girdle, you might choose to have a block underneath the hands. And from here, we're going to hang out in half Hanuman. Check in with your breathing pattern. head up. We'll then switch the legs, make sure that left knee is comfortable as you take the right leg forward. Sit up here, make minor adjustments. And forward fold over the front leg. One more breath on this side. And we'll lift the heart and head up. We're going to sweep that right leg back and have knees close together. Sit back in between the heels now in Virasana. Make sure the hips are supported by something. If not the floor, use a blanket, bolster, or block. And then once we have this established, we'll take alternating swimmers. Right arm up, left arm underneath. You exhale, fingertips toward the midline along the spine. And then inhale, you'll switch the arms. And exhale, fingertips toward each other. Keep going back and forth at your own pace. It's like super hot in my apartment today. Summer is creeping in. Alright. Do one more with the right arm up and one more with the left arm up. Finish that last round. Come forward, take any props off to the side. We'll take downward facing dog. And then we'll start to walk the hands back toward the feet again. Once the heels are on the floor, take an exhale. Strong legs, belly and back. Come all the way up on the inhale. You might keep the gaze downward in case there's any dizziness. And end up with the arms alongside the body. After a resting breath there, we'll come back to the center of the mat. We're going to set up for a revolving triangle. Some of you like to use a block. Keep in mind, the block still might be a little lower than is available for us to keep the spine feeling long while we're twisting. So just be mindful that when you take the forward fold, right, we set up just like Parsvartanasana. If to reach the block, you have to round the upper back. Then if there's a lot of flexion in the spine, you might choose to have the hand be on the shin. So just go ahead and have the block there handy if you like. What I typically do is I have my arms out to a T formation. That way when I start to take the forward fold, I'm a little more honest about where my spine is in space. I can engage the back, a nice long feeling in the spine and deep crease in that hip. And then I take the twist last. And I just notice if the block is there, I might use the block, otherwise hand on the shin. There's another one where if you feel a little pinching in the shoulder, feel like it's not quite available for us, you can always let this hand go down on the sacrum here. That sometimes helps us to find more of a twist in the upper back. Keep lower belly firm, back leg helps stabilize the hip. And then on the inhale, we'll come out of the twist back to vertical. And then we'll switch sides. Push yourself up, again, about leg length and distance from front to back heel. Stay nice and long. Once you have the lower half of the body established, you can take the forward fold. Ensure that front leg is straight without locking the knee out. And then take the twist. Table's going to feel more restricted here as we're breathing in. Pay attention to maybe the sides of the body, upper back, to expand as you inhale. And the next breath in will come up and out. And then feet together. If you're using the block, you need to off to the side. We're going to come down onto the back next. Set the legs up,
for bridge pose. Feet hip width distance apart and parallel, heels pretty close to the hips without touching. And then from here, root through the feet, make sure upper back can feel supportive. So when you do lift the hips up, you feel more weight in that upper back and shoulder area, not the neck. You have arms alongside the body at a slight angle with palms up, or you can interlock the fingers here under the hips, the arms straight. Check in with the rooting of the 3 points of the sole of the foot. Strong legs, strong back muscles, free breathing. Alright, and then we're going to lower down. Release the hands. Give you a couple of options here. You can, if you have a bolster, or you can fold up a blanket quite a bit to then lift the hips up, take the bolster or blanket under the hips, bring hips back down, and take legs up. Or you can practice shoulder stand, and if you've got enough core strength to use control of taking the feet back over the head, right? Strong belly here, and then lift. Take hands to the lower back. Use those elbows in. Strong upper back. And then strong through the front and back line of the body as you straighten the legs up toward the sky. Check in with your breathing pattern. Take about 7 to 10 full breaths, either shoulder stand or the extended legs. Take your time. You're up in shoulder stand. You can bend the knees, take arms down, slowly lower the spine down, followed by the hips. Get the soles of the feet mat width distance apart. If you're doing the leg extension that I showed, get the hips up, slide any props off from underneath you, and then bring hips back down. We're going to all meet up here, the knees bent, soles of the feet mat width distance apart, let the knees fall in toward each other. Legs are relaxed. Arms are alongside the body at a slight angle with the palms up. Arms to a T formation, palms up. And then with the feet still mat width distance apart, slowly let the knees fall off toward the right. You can leave both feet on the floor, or if you want a little more weight on the left thigh, take the right ankle on top of the left thigh. Letting the left shoulder be heavy. And then you lift the head up, you'll turn the head to the left and bring the head back down. Relax your eyes, your jaw, shoulders. Pay attention to the muscles along the spine, all the way down into the sacral and then into the left hip. Follow the breath into the body and notice how your body responds to the breath. Unravel the legs. If you've got that bind, come back to center with knees and chin. Keep the feet wide. You might take a moment to center up your ribcage and hips before taking off to the second side. Knees falling off to the left gently. Take the bind on this side. If you do it on the other side, it feels okay. Lift the head, turn the head to the right, and lower the head back down. And then do some inventory, checking into relaxation of the jaw, neck, shoulders, spine, and down into the right hip. And we'll unravel the legs, move back to center. Take legs together, knees over the hips, and then hands on the knees. Take circles with the knees. So you feel that final massage of the muscles around the lower back, sacrum, hips. Reverse the direction. Done 4 or 5 in one way. Gentle squeeze the knees, your thighs toward the navel. You can take a moment to assess the physical body. If you're feeling pretty good, you can prepare for corpse pose from here. Otherwise, if there's another movement that you feel would bring further compensation into your body, muscles or joints, take a moment to do that first. And we'll all meet up in corpse pose. Find our most comfortable and neutral position to rest in. Take your time to set yourself up. Again, let go of all the tension you might find in your eyes. Relax the jaw so much that even the tongue relaxes in the mouth. Follow the breath into the body. Allow the attention to drift inward. As you exhale, continue to facilitate more relaxation. The bones feel heavy. Receptive to all that's within your highest good in regards to healing and resolution.
backward. Start to create some movement through fingers, toes, ankles, and wrists. Start taking deeper breaths in. Take your time, left and side. Eventually bring your way back up to a comfortable seated position, where you may want the hips a little higher than the knees. Use a bolster, blanket, or a block. And once you get settled in, interlock the fingers, have the thumbs touching, arms resting on the thighs. Start to pay attention to the breath moving through the nose and the throat. So pay attention to the physical sensation of the breath moving through the nose and the throat. Start to count the breath to yourself and create a 6-second inhale and a 6-second exhale. 6-second breath in, 6-second breath out. Steady pattern, you can start to add internal and external breath retention. You can also maintain the practice that you've developed here with simply keeping the inhale and exhale even. Otherwise, you can take anywhere between a 2 to 6 second breath retention. We want the internal and external breath retention to match. Once you find a count that's comfortable, stay consistent with that count for the remaining of the practice. Last round with the exhale or the external breath retention. Do you finish your last round? Let your attention rest on your natural breathing pattern. pay particular attention to that moment or space that lies there between the inhale and exhale naturally. Particular attention to that moment that lies between the inhale and exhale naturally. Space is referred to as Chittakash, space of consciousness. Inhalation. Allow the attention to drift outward a bit. You're seeing sounds in the room. Next exhale, feel your body weight supported by the floor underneath you. More tension in the spine and the hips. Palms together in front of the heart center. We'll take a moment for reflection and gratitude. Anything that moves through our hearts and our minds, we'd like to acknowledge and give thanks for. So the practice by chanting Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Inhale. Shanti Shanti Shanti. May all beings, without one exception, know peace and be released from suffering. So it is, and so it shall be.